Here's the result for the guy you filled out the survey for. He gets a C+. plus. This guy is rather so-so. Not too good, not too bad. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you. Things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10-dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10-dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He's not likely to talk big about his future, and he isn't one to chase after grand titles or flashy promotions. What you'll see is someone who works hard, keeps things disciplined, and follows the rules closely. His effort is genuine, but he might stay comfortable doing what he's always done.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he tends to get upset easily and might struggle to stay calm. You may see him lose his temper, complain, or even shut himself off for a while. Sometimes he might take things personally or dwell on what went wrong.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work will find him polite and respectful, and he tries hard not to offend anyone. He isn't looking for fights and usually follows the rules. So, most colleagues will see him as a well mannered and steady worker. He's not the type to have close friendships at work, but he won't be hated either.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he's not likely to celebrate with open joy, but he won't make you feel guilty or compete with you either. Deep down, he feels good about your achievements, but he might get anxious about how things are changing or if it means he has to adjust his usual routines. You may have to assure him that your success doesn't threaten your home life together.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you earn more than him, he's not likely to resent you openly or start arguments about it, but inside he may feel uneasy or a bit insecure. He might worry about what others will think or wonder if he's falling short as a provider. He's willing to respect your success, but his confidence needs gentle support.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He's very careful with money and likes to plan before spending. You'll find that he keeps track of expenses and avoids unnecessary purchases, often making sure bills are paid on time and savings are growing. He's unlikely to buy on impulse or waste money on things he doesn't need.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He lives well within his means and doesn't try to impress others with fancy things or pretend to be richer than he is. You'll hardly see him showing off or spending money just to keep up with neighbors or friends. He won't put your family under financial stress with big purchases or hidden debts.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He's gentle in his manners and treats others with respect, but he's not very open handed when it comes to money or sharing. You'll notice he prefers to save and can be strict about spending even on small pleasures. Kindness for him shows in polite words and careful actions rather than grand gestures or generous gifts.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He's generally open and clear about money matters and prefers to keep things straightforward between you. You can expect him to talk about bills, savings, and expenses without hiding anything or playing games. Overall, honesty is important to him, even if he can come off as a bit strict.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He believes in routines and keeping things in order, so he's likely to help with housework, but he might assume certain chores are mostly your job, especially if it's how things were done in his family. He'll pitch in when asked and wants the home to be neat, but you may find yourself taking on more work unless you speak up. If you show him why sharing chores matters, he's the sort who will adjust even if slowly.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He prefers things to be done in a certain way and likes routines, so he will help with chores and even with things like diapers, especially if you ask him directly or set clear roles. However, he might sometimes treat these tasks like a duty, not as a chance for teamwork, and could try to oversee or check if things are done his preferred way. You may need to remind him gently that you want real support, not just supervision.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He often struggles to see your side at first and can get defensive when there's a disagreement. His instinct is to argue his point or explain why he did things his way, rather than trying to really understand your feelings right away. Sometimes he may raise his voice or get frustrated and shut down for a bit.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he gets angry, he usually struggles to stay calm and may say things that sting or sound harsh in the moment. Even though he tries to be polite in normal times, anger sometimes makes him lose control. He might raise his voice or let out sharp words that hurt your feelings. It's important to set clear limits about respect, even during arguments.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, he does get angry quite quickly, sometimes over small things, and his mood can change fast when he's upset. This quick temper is not just a small flaw, it's a real issue you shouldn't ignore. If you're already feeling worried about his outbursts, pay attention. It's better to face it now than be sorry later.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He finds it hard to say sorry and take responsibility right away. When things go wrong, his first reaction might be to blame you or point to someone else's mistake instead of admitting his own. He doesn't do this to be harsh, but because it's tough for him to handle criticism or feel at fault.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He's generally polite and tries not to cross lines, but when it comes to personal boundaries, especially in close relationships, he might not always understand your no right away. He could sometimes push for things his way or feel hurt if you pull back, believing it's just a small issue. You will have to be very clear and firm about your boundaries and repeat them if needed.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he's likely to take it personally. If you're not in the mood for intimacy, he might feel rejected or think he's done something wrong, and his mood could change quickly, sometimes leading him to act distant or upset. You'll need to be gentle but clear in your explanations and give him time to adjust.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
You can generally trust him not to use private moments against you or embarrass you in front of others. He's respectful in his own way and values keeping personal things private. However, always be alert for any changes. Trust should be built slowly and checked over time.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is quite steady in his ways and not easily distracted by other women. Loyalty and routine matter to him, and he prefers to focus on what he already has rather than chasing after something new or exciting. You are unlikely to worry about him straying, as he values stability in relationships.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He's not usually over possessive or the type to act overly jealous or controlling. Most of the time, he trusts routines and prefers things to be settled rather than keeping a watchful eye on you or doubting your loyalty. Gentle, calm communication will help keep trust strong and misunderstandings small.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
His protective nature is more about wanting things to stay safe and orderly, not about deeply controlling your every move. He likes routines and may worry about unexpected changes, but he isn't the type to make rules just to boss you around or hold you back. If you ever feel his care is starting to limit your freedom, have an honest talk. He can adjust his ways if he understands your feelings matter too.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He believes in keeping routines and taking care of responsibilities, so he will help with parenting tasks if you ask or set clear plans. However, his natural habit may be to expect you to handle most of the daily care, especially things like comforting, organizing, or nurturing. With gentle guidance, he can step up and share the load, but you'll have to lead the way.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he's likely to lose his temper quickly instead of staying calm. Small mistakes or emotional outbursts from the kids can bother him more than most, and his first reaction may be to scold, raise his voice, or show his frustration clearly. This can make the children feel anxious or scared to make mistakes.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He will see and respect your hard work as a mother, and he'll appreciate the way you keep the family running smoothly. However, he may find it harder to see you as your own person outside of your duties at home. It's not from a lack of care, but simply how he's wired.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later after kids and marriage change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, this is the kind of man who might support your career at first, but later expect you to step back or even quit work once there's a child or more duties at home. He values routines and responsibilities and often believes the mother should focus mainly on kids and household tasks. Clear agreements now will help prevent hard feelings and surprises later.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He will treat your parents with respect and good manners, always being polite and doing what is expected during visits or family events. However, real warmth, like showing affection, joking around, or building a close bond, may not come naturally to him. Your parents will likely notice that he's well behaved and reliable, but maybe a bit distant or formal. He will try to follow your family's customs and be polite, but he is quite set in his own habits and may quietly hope your family will adjust to his way of doing things over time.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he's likely to get upset quickly and might not handle the situation calmly. Tension makes him nervous, and his first reaction can be to lose patience, complain, or speak sharply, sometimes making things feel even more difficult. You may need to guide him on how to pause, breathe, and respond gently instead.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, he's the kind of man who might be modern and easygoing with you in private, but expect you to behave like a traditional supportive wife when his relatives are around. He values routines and family customs, so he may want you to dress, act, and speak in ways that match their expectations during gatherings or festivals. If you want to be yourself at all times, talk about your hopes clearly.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension between you and his relatives, he's likely to stay out of it rather than take a strong stand for you. He prefers to avoid conflict and keep the peace, so you may find him being quiet or neutral instead of speaking up for you. It's not that he doesn't care about you, but he finds it hard to challenge family customs.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He's very respectful of routines and family, so there's a chance he could be a bit of a mummy's boy, meaning his mother's opinions and wishes matter a lot to him. In a conflict between you and his mother, he may find it very hard to take your side openly. Most likely, he'll choose to stay quiet or try to keep peace rather than stand up strongly for you.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He's not likely to share every private detail or fight with his mother or sister, but if he feels unsure or stressed, he may turn to them for advice or comfort, especially if sharing feelings is hard for him. If this happens often, it can lead to misunderstandings and make you feel like your private life isn't safe or respected. Trust is built on privacy and respect.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
Based on all of this analysis, this guy gets a C plus. This guy is so, not too good, not too bad, a bit mediocre. Being with this man day in and day out feels steady but can be tiring over time. He's hardworking, responsible, and keeps life organized, but he rarely surprises you with warmth, laughter, or deep emotional talks.